Hey going everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are going to be checking out a little bit of an older one here from Hobbymaster. It is the good old MiG-21 SMT humpback. As you can see, the hump on the back. Now, obviously this is from the Soviet Air Force's frontal aviation unit. These particular SMT variants were designed to be primarily used in, I think, ground attack role. Now, improvements to the ECM and the enlarged hump, like on the dorsal fin here, that could house an additional 3,250 litres of fuel. But problems did arise through that as the fuel was being used. The centre of gravity would shift towards the tail, which would really affect its handling and overall performance. Now, once these problems were actually being realised, production of the variant would be halted at around 150 to 200 aircraft. Now, we will open this up. If we can. That stuck really well. And as you can see, that really cool looking MiG sitting in there. But as we say, it is no good in the box, is it? So what we'll do is we'll get this humpback out and check it out. Now, of course, it does come with the normal stand, which should look like that once you've fitted it all together. It is 3 pieces, all plastic. And being older, you do get a set of instructions, which I suppose we should get open. I can't recall ever having a set of instructions in a MiG. So obviously it is a very old one. That is going to be pretty cool. So what? So you do, geez, hurry up, Chris. Okay, it's instructions how to put that stand together. You don't really need that. It is pretty straightforward. The aircraft, that is a different story. There's usually a few little bits and pieces that can be a little bit funny to work out. But that is the instructions. These are quite large compared to some instructions that you do get. So you can see all the little bits and pieces that need to be put on. That little strut that has to go on, which can be a pain, the antenna. But these are really well done. I don't know why they don't include the comprehensive instructions like this in their newer models. I mean, it's only a couple of cents, I suppose, to print out a piece of paper. Now, this does have that little strap around it that does prevent the case, the packet, from opening. Let's see if we can get it open. Yeah. All right, everything flies everywhere. All right, so we do have the usual stuff. Now you got your tanks, pitted tubes, missiles, landing gear options, and all the good gear. Let us get this aircraft out. That's what we want to check out first. Oh, that pops out really nice. I am really enjoying the older ones because they seem to really be like a fair bit better than what they are currently putting out. I don't know whether standards have changed or it's just the age of maybe the molds are getting older, but these early ones seem to be really, really well put together with a lot of care and detail. Now let's zoom in and have a little look. Those panel lines are pretty nice. They do look to have a little bit of maybe inking within that as well, which is really fantastic. And there's a lot of nice detail in there. The silver is really nice. There's the Bort number on the front there. Wow, underneath it's got some really nice detail as well. The whole aircraft is silver. Well, funny enough, the tank is already on there, which is good, I suppose. As you saw, this is brand new straight out of the packet, so I have not done anything to it. I reckon it's going to set up fantastically though, so, well, how about we do that? We'll stop talking, we'll set this up, and we'll come right back. Alright, here we have it set up for in-flight. Very straightforward. There's just 3 sets of landing gear doors that you need to put in. They pop straight in. Now, interesting enough, the complement of ordnance is air-to-air, it looks to be. Whereas I read this version was meant to be more for ground support or ground attack. But that's neither here nor there. Some of them are really hard to get to fit flush. As you can see, it sticks out a little bit. So you do need to file them if you want them to sort of sit right. This is a brand new model, so it is a little bit tight. Now, of course, on the top here, you put that pitted tube which slides in, which is quite large. It looks nice. Sometimes they don't go in nicely, but this one went in beautifully. And that is your awesome MiG-21 set up for in-flight. Looks really good. I like this overall silver finish. It's I don't know, it definitely says Cold War to me. So to put it on the stand though, there's your little stand holes right there, and that's your stand. It does cradle over the fuselage, but not the fuel tank. So you do need to remove that like so. And now you can actually put the stand in its holes, and it goes over the fuselage cannon there like that. And that is your MiG-21 set for a display for in-flight, for you in-flight displayers, and it does look sweet. Very nice, beautiful. Hobbymaster do these MiG-21s really nicely. But of course, I do want to check this out gear down, so we'll have to chuck some landing gear on this, and we'll get it on the scales as well. That'll be a little bit of fun too, because these do have those little struts that we need to put on. So my sausage fingers are going to have awesome fun. All right, let's go set this up, and we'll come back a gear down. All right, we'll be back in just a second. All right, here we have it set up for a gear down. We'll zoom in a little bit for you. Now, that's the little struts there. I've put a little bit of blue tack in there so you can actually have them stuck in there, because they will not hold into place when you put them in the holes. So you even need to glue them in if you want to put them on. The actual landing gear itself is metal, so you can put a bit of pressure on them when you put those in. But yeah, those little struts, you will have to glue those in. You can open that little air brake door there, if you can see that, but you can't open it fully because it does hit the tank. So you can put your tank back on too, and put that little gear bay door section there on. The nose wheel, tiny little gear bay doors that are so hard to put on, and then you can put your nose wheel in, and that is metal as well. It feels like metal, so you can put a lot of pressure on the main landing gear and the nose wheel to push them into place. The gear bay doors themselves, especially on the nose, were just a nightmare to put on. Very fiddly. My recommendation is a little bit of glue if you're going to set this up gear down permanently, to put the struts into place so you don't have visible blue tack. And of course, I'd put a little dab of glue in the nose gear bay doors as well, because they tend to drop out a little bit as well. So yeah, gear down, fiddly, but look, these are really nice, are worth it. They look fantastic. I like them, but you just got to be, I don't know, sober when you put them together, because they will cause you a little bit of a pain when you're trying to fiddle around with the small piece. As you can see, look at the size of my thumb compared to that nose wheel door. It's really small. And of course, you put the open canopy on, which is 2 pieces. The front section doesn't quite sit flush, so you could probably put a dab of glue on that to make it sit down properly. There is a pilot figure in there. I sort of tried to get him out, but I couldn't pull him out, so I think he might be permanently in there. I'm not 100% sure. If you've pulled yours out, let me know in the comments, of course. And of course, you can get to see inside a little bit as well, which is fantastic. I reckon, look, overall, these do present fantastically. They look awesome. Just gear down a little bit fiddlier than in flight. In flight's pretty easy. But you do also get a pair of tanks as well, if you want to use those in place of the set of one of the pairs of air-to-air missiles. We'll suppose we better see what the weight is. So what we'll do is we'll bring in the scales. We'll zoom out a fraction so you can see the scales at least, and we'll see if it actually sits on the landing gear as well. So we'll put it down, well, really gently. I don't want to risk falling apart. Beautiful. And look, it's not overly heavy. It's 158 grams. So we've obviously had a lot heavier aircraft, so it's not hugely heavy, but it does present really nicely. As long as you've got a little bit of patience, you should be able to set these up pretty well. We'll move this out of the way. We'll wind up the video. I also like the fact that there's a little bit of discoloration between the two silvers, like different silvers, which you can sort of see here and there in patchy spots, which I think is really cool. All right, we'll put this on the deck again and say goodbye. All right, I'll take some photos of this, of course, throw them on at the end of the video like usual. Don't forget to throw me some of those if you enjoyed what hit your eyeballs today as well. And if you're watching and have yet to subscribe to the channel, don't forget to do that as well. Click that little button if you can spare those couple of seconds doing that. Thank you very much for spending your valuable time, of course, in checking out another one of our videos. I hope you enjoyed this old Hobbymaster MiG-21 here. All right, thanks for watching. You all have an awesome rest of your day. Cheers, everyone.